Let's ask people to come forward.
Can we get Minister? I'm just spoken. Aging in reverse. That's why.
One, two. One, two. Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we want to welcome you all to the first Reputation Summit. The time is 10 o'clock, and as it is the tradition, the NIPR, we start right on time. I want to request everyone to please be seated. Please be seated. We are set to start. Please be seated. We acknowledge very distinguished personalities in our midst. As we get set to start, please, we ask everyone to please be seated as our dignitaries take their seats. Thank you very much once again for joining us. This is the first Nigeria Reputation Summit, and we are very glad indeed to have you all join us here today. Once again, we request that we have everyone seated and have some silence in the room so we can start. Please be seated. We are gathered here today for the first Reputation Summit. And we ask once again for our distinguished guests. Please be seated. Please be seated as we're set to start. We now call the House to order as we are now set to start.
So we are working together.
Your Excellencies all, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Our invited guests, stakeholders, the reputation drive for our country. May I please request that we all take a seat. There are enough seats to accommodate everyone here as we mark what we regard as a milestone going forward. Thank you. The House has been called to order. I'm so tall that the microphones have consumed me. So please pardon me, and I just want to be seen on television, at least on channels. That is doing us so proud. and giving us a live coverage. God bless you. Dr. John, reputation, more. I know that from all strata of human development, we are all here gathered for one reason: to change the narrative about Nigeria, to speak to reputation from the individual point of view to collective societal drive. And as we do that today, I believe and I'm trusting God that it will be a springboard for better Nigeria, better reputation. Welcome. Still yours, Ojima Kojola, others who will not want to call Grandma Moji, decide to call me Auntie Moji, including our guest speaker today. So I'm so honored. I'm about his one of his sweetest artists. So thank God for it. You know I'm proud of him all the time. And the introductions will come. I have my college mother in the hall. I have my college sister in the hall. I'm so blessed. We have KPAC, and we have one of the most dynamic Nigerians who believe that Nigeria can get it up. The president of the NIPR, Dr. E.K. Williams. Thank you. So it's reputation. For us in NIPR, we start at just that time. And you can imagine the vice president was here at 8 o'clock this morning to ensure that we start as I when we promised. I have here two gentlemen, Tope Ojeme, who is one of the best actors in this country, and is also very reputable. And yes, and the young man, I'm trying to learn your name now.
Nelta.
So we have it here. So this is Nigeria present here, and we tried as much as possible to do gender balancing, so that Hadia Lami Tumaka will have a permanent smile on her face. We're trying, yes. So we will start now, and this pleasantries is what makes us that different in Nigeria. And I'm so super excited that I do pray that as we have a seamless event today, it will go beyond this room and cascade even to my local government in Offa, where for us reputation speaks for whatever you do. So I welcome you all, the women in the hall, thank you. The men, the youths, thank you. This is our show. And we must be deliberate about ensuring that everything works. So, with that,
We all rise, shall we, for the national anthem. The national anthem. We sing, Nigeria, we hail thee, our own dear native land. Though tribe and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. Nigerians all are proud to serve our sovereign motherland. We'll recite the third verse as prayer. O God of all creation, grant this our one request. Help us to build a nation where no man is oppressed, and so with peace and plenty, Nigeria may be blessed. Amen. And we all say, Amen. Thank you very much. Please be seated as I now invite Inyota for recognitions. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, today is an epoch-making day. It's a day that many will be wondering, what's going to happen after today? Someone said something to me, said, how do you manage reputation? But that's one of the things we're here, and hopefully we will leave here better prepared to hold and build and strengthen the reputation of Nigeria, our wonderful nation. Please put your hands together for yourself and for our country, Nigeria. I'd like to recognize the presence of our keynote speaker, a former governor of Lagos State, a former minister of the Federal Republic, but I think he actually prefers to be recognized as a lawyer. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me to recognize the presence of Mr. Babatunde Raji Fashola, SAN. Because of where we are today, we'd like to recognize the presence of the man who is chairing the team, the man who has been nicknamed according to his assignment, the man who has distinguished himself from when I was tinkering and found television, a man who has built and continues to hold the practice of that industry to the highest esteem. Please join me to recognize the presence of the chairman of the Nigeria Reputation Management Group Advisory Board, Dr. John Reputation Mono, NIPR. Also in this place, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we have the vice chairman of that group, Mr. Bashir Adewale Adeni, Dr. Bashir Adewale Adeni, MFR, FNIPR, vice chairman of the Nigeria Reputation Management Group, who is ably represented, I understand. He is also the Controller General of Nigeria Customs. He's represented by DCG Timi Bomodi, Deputy Controller General Customs. Also in the building, ladies and gentlemen, the President, National Institute of Marketing of Nigeria, Dr. Olajoko Bayo Ajayi, FIMN, member, President, National Institute of Marketing of Nigeria, Dr. Olalekan Fadolapo, who's a member and Director General, Advertising Regulatory Council of Nigeria, a member of the Reputation Management Group. Also in the building, Dr. Muhammad Kudu Abubakar, FNIPR, FSPSP, Secretary, Advisory Board, NRNG, Senior Lecturer, International Relations, Cosmopolitan University. At this point in time, I'd like us to recognize the presence of the President and Chairman of the Board of the Nigeria Institute of Public Relations, Dr. Ike Neliaku. Chairman of Council, President and Chairman of Council. His wife is also in the building. Mrs. Oge Neliaku, to recognize your presence. As they say, when you see a successful man, there's a woman somewhere finding that flame. The Vice President of the NIPR, Professor Dan Daura, is here. Remember, he was here at 8 a.m. to ensure that this whole thing gets going. Our press secretary is in the building. Dr. Omoni is where I saw him when he walked in. Please put your hands together for him. You're welcome, sir. Our Press Secretary General. We will not go any further without recognizing the royal father in the house. Kabiesi, we recognize your presence, sir. All the council members in the building who would like you to please rise for recognition. All council members of the NIPR, please stand for recognition. And former council members in the house, please stand also for recognition. Please put your hands together for them. All fellows of the NIPR, please can you stand for recognition. Thank you very much. Now I would like to recognize the presence of all the board members of NRNG. If you could please stand for recognition, all the board members of NRNG. Thank you very much for all that you do. From the academia, we have the representative of the Vice Chancellor of Bingham University, Cairo, Dr. Gabriel Nyise, representing the Vice Chancellor. Thank you very much. At this point in time, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to recognize the top officials of parastatals under the Ministry of Information and National Orientation here in the building. We understand we have multiple directors generals in the building who would like to recognize you. Please stand for recognition wherever you are. Try to identify their representatives. Please put your hands together for them. In managing reputation, you also think about the future. We understand that we have students, youth corps members in the building. Please, if you don't mind, could you just stand for recognition, because we know that you will be the one to carry this flame to the future. Please stand for recognition. Because this building is this hall may not accommodate every member of the NIPR, we'd like to recognize those here, those who are joining us virtually, all the members of the NIPR. Please, if you can stand, we'd like to recognize you. All the members of the NIPR in the building, please. Please put your hands together for yourself. And if you're watching us virtually, put your hands together for yourself wherever you are. Thank you very much. You may be seated. At this point in time, I'll invite Tokwe to come back in for the next one. Thank you very much. Please put your hands together for my colleague in the altar. Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we will now proceed with the program proper. To set the tone for today's summit, there is a 2-minute piece by Chief Mrs. Moji Makojola, but just before then, let me recognize the presence of our special guests of honor, the Honorable Minister of Information and National Orientation. Please a round of applause for Alhaji Muhammad Idris, Fellow of the NIPR, very distinguished reputation minister, the only minister that has reputation attached to his name. Please give him another reputational round of applause. Honorable Minister, thank you for joining us. We'll now proceed with the program. We have a 2-minute clip, which is put together to give you a background of why we're here. The summit, the first of its kind. Here we go, by Chief Mrs. Moji Makojola. Media, can you confirm that you're good to go? Okay, not ready now, so we'll come back to that. We'll move on now to the other parts of the program, as we'll come to the point of having everyone welcomed properly. And the gentleman to do that. But just before he does that, a quick recognition of Air Vice Marshal Mokwe Gapwat, representing Chief of Air Staff. He's also a member of the NIPR. Please give him a round of applause. Recognize Deputy Controller of Customs, A.A. Mewada, PhD. Thank you for being here. A round of applause for him. ACP Ufomadu, George Lee P, representing the Nigerian Police Force. Thank you for being here. We also have the President of the Radio, Television, Theatre and Arts Workers Union, represented here by the General Secretary, Akpansu. Please a round of applause for him. Thank you for being here. And we also recognize, although that was done a little earlier, he wasn't here then, but I think he must have gone out to receive the minister, the Director General of Voice of Nigeria, very distinguished member of Council, Jibril Baba Ndashi. Please a round of applause for him. Thank you very much for being here. We now come to the point of having a welcome by the chairman of the Nigerian Reputation Management Group Advisory Board. A gentleman per excellence, whose name is synonymous with reputation. I will invite Auntie Moji to bring Dr. John Momo up to the podium. Okay, I'll be told that before he speaks, we'll be bringing up the chairman of the Nigerian Reputation Management Group, Chief Yomi Badijo Okusoya, FNIPR. Please welcome him with a round of applause.
The Honorable Minister of Information and National Orientation, Haji Mohamed Idris, FNIPR, our guest speaker for today, and my dear brother, Mr. Babatunde Raji Fashola, SAN, the President of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, Dr. E.K. Mediaku, members of the Executive Council, representatives that are here, the Vice President of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, Professor Dan Hawa, and please allow me to adapt all the protocols that have been very well established by the Masters and Masters of Ceremony so that I will save time. Distinguished guests, respected leaders of government and industry, captains of business, members of the diplomatic corps, traditional rulers present here, regulators, media executives, reputation management professionals, partners, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. It is my honor and great privilege to warmly welcome you to the inaugural Nigeria Reputation Summit convened by the Nigeria Reputation Management Group here in our nation's capital, Abuja. I want to thank you for honoring our invitation and for making time to be part of what we believe is just not an event, but the beginning of an important national conversation. So why are we here? Ladies and gentlemen, reputation is no longer a soft issue. It is not cosmetic, and it's certainly not optional. In today's hyper-connected, digitally amplified world, reputation has become a strategic national asset. It influences investment flows, citizens' trust, diplomatic standing, consumer confidence, corporate valuation, and even national security. As I often say, reputation is not what people believe about us, but leadership is what we consistently prove. Nations compete on reputation, institutions rise and fall on reputation. Leaders are remembered by reputation. Yet we must acknowledge a difficult truth. In today's world, perception often travels faster than policy, and narrative frequently outruns nuance. For far too long, Nigeria's reputation, both at home and abroad, has been shaped more by fragmented narratives than by coordinated strategy, more by reaction than intention. This summit is our collective response to that reality. So what is the vision behind this summit? The Nigerian Reputation Summit was conceived to answer a simple but powerful question. How do we deliberately, ethically and sustainably manage Nigeria's reputation across government, business, media and the society? Because a nation that does not manage its reputation leaves its story to chance and to others. Not through propaganda, not through denial, but through credibility, consistency, transparency, and performance. So permit me to clearly situate the Nigerian Reputation Management Group. The NIMG, which is an abbreviation for the Nigerian Reputation Management Group, is a private sector initiative of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, and it was established, or it has been established, to deepen professionalism, force leadership, and practical capacity in reputation management across Nigeria. Our conviction is simple but firm. Reputation is not built on press releases. It is earned in performance and protected by integrity. In furtherance of this conviction, I am pleased to announce that the Nigerian Reputation Management Group has designated October 15th of every year as Nigeria Reputation Day. And we celebrated the first only a few months ago. This annual observance is intended to focus national attention on the importance of a conscious, deliberate, and coordinated approach to building and protecting reputation as a key national asset across government, business institutions, and society. So why does this moment matter? It stands at a critical point. Our population is young, dynamic, connected. Our entrepreneurs are innovative, our reforms, though challenging, signal intent and direction. Yet global perception for us often lags behind. Reputation, ladies and gentlemen, is not the job of communications department alone. It's a leadership responsibility. And that's why you find out that Nigerian Institute of Public Relations we are establishing a university of public relations and leadership. Not just public relations, but also a leadership in Nasarawa State. And I believe by the next session, this university should be in place. It will be the first of its kind in the entire globe. For government, it means policy clarity, delivery, and trust building. For business, it means governance, ethics, and stakeholders. For media, it means balance, accuracy, and national responsibility. Our keynote speaker today will focus, ladies and gentlemen, on leadership and substance. He is precisely why we are deeply honored to have here. A man whose public service career exemplifies the connection between governance, delivery, and public trust. Thank you very much. Please clap for him. I'm very proud of him. We attended the same college, Igbobi College. Somebody will say, I'm sure you will say that. But he did something a few weeks ago that I know him, but he completely blew my mind. Mr. Babatunde Raji Fashola went back to court to go and start to pick up his career as a lawyer. Which politician who has been a governor twice, minister twice, will go back to a court and be saying, my Lord, if for nothing else, he is the right person that can give us this lecture today. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir. He'll be speaking on subject better Nigeria, better reputation, and the theme captures the essence of this summit because it's a better Nigeria. A better Nigeria is not just a policy goal, it is a reputational imperative. So, let me just, before I close, ask ladies and gentlemen, especially those from the private sector. We made a call for this summit. We got some response, and I'd like to thank those who responded to us, especially Stanbic IBTC that they believe in us and they're supporting us in this our initiative. Thank you very much. Please help me acknowledge. They are watching, so please help me acknowledge them. But when we come calling again, please partner with us so that we can make this a reality. The change we are looking for in Nigeria's reputation is not just in Abuja, it's just not with the leaders, it's for each and every one of us. Distinguished guests, the story of Nigeria is being written. Let us ensure that it's written with truth, responsibility, and strategic intent. Let us move forward from reputation repair to reputation leadership. If we fix what we do, then the world will see us and there will be a change. At this point in time, just before I sit down, because I may not have this opportunity again, please allow me to thank a few people here. First and foremost, my brother and my friend for over 30 years, Honorable Minister of Information and National Orientation. I picked up my call and I said, I'd like you to please be here. And you promised me you'll be here, and you're here. Thank you very much for coming. I'd like to thank members of my board. If you are members of the board are here, please stand up just to thank you very much for your tireless work in making this happen. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. I'd like to thank members of my advisory board. There are two of them that are present here. One more will join today, Dr. Reputation, John Reputation. If you are now calling me Reputation. So which comes first, John or Reputation? John. So if you continue, we'll put Reputation first, then John comes after. Dr. John Mohammed, thank you. Every time we've called you, you answered us. Dan Masani, the Secretary to the Advisory Board, and one person who is joining them today, Dr. Bola Joko Bode Ajayi. Thank you very much for your support. Now, the next person I'm going to thank, be careful about what you pray for. We wanted NIPR to be vibrant, so we prayed for the president, and we got him. And since then, they have been giving us rest. Now, let me tell you, sir, that's what people are saying. Me, I will talk to you from. That what manner of a man is the case Mediaku? Calls you at any hour of the day, has meetings that drag on for 4 hours just to make sure it happens. So, ladies and gentlemen, always be careful what you pray for. We pray for this man, and he has come to do this job. Please join in thanking the President and Chairman of Council, Nigeria Institute of Population, Dr. Ike Mediaku, FNIPR, and of course his Vice President, who is somewhere behind him. He too drives people like, say, thank you very much, Dr. Daniela. All the council members here, can you please stand up to be recognized? Thank you very much. All council members. Thank you. These are my bosses. Finally, once again, I want to welcome you and wish us all a productive, insightful, and impactful summit. May God bless the Nigerian Reputation Management Group. May God bless the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations. And of course, may God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. The man popularly called YDO. I have been saddled with the responsibility of recognition. And reputation is one thing that will set you apart. Your reputation will always determine how fast you be recognized or how slow. But I've been asked to specifically recognize these mothers in the profession of public relations. I'd like to recognize the presence of the first Vice President of the NRNG, Hajia Lami Tumaka. We recognize you, ma'am. Also in the building is the second Vice President, Mrs. Alice Aki. Aji, Alice Aji. We recognize you as well. We understand that you are online or here in the physical. Also in the building we have Dr. Nkiti Ali Balogun, Chairman, CEO of PR Can. We recognize you. Understand that these are people that pay their dues. We also have in the building Nuhu Yakubu Tanko, representing the chairman of the Independent Corrupt Practices and ICPC, Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission. Nuhu Yakubu Tanko, we recognize your presence in the building. Also in the building we have Olori Hajia Jumai Makama. You're welcome, ma'am. Mrs. Ayo Obaro, a nightingale of revenue, is in the building, and I understand she's come to continue that which she's been known to do, carrying on the reputation of Nigeria. You're welcome, ma'am. Dr. Lekki is in the building. He leads the health reforms. Writing. Okay. Some handwritings are beautiful. Dr. Oleki is in the building, who is leading the reforms in the health sector. Recognize your presence as well. His Royal Majesty Kabiyesi Adetayo Hastrop, the Olumobi of Imobi Ijesha Kingdom. We recognize your presence one more time. Professor Sule Yao Sule, Chairman Nigeria Spokesperson Summit. We recognize your presence, sir. Dame Pauline Talent. I hope I got that well. This writing. Dame Pauline Talent, former Honorable Minister of the Federal Republic. Is that what I have here? Honorable Minister of Women Affairs. You're welcome, man. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this event has just started, but it will not be as usual. Somebody?
Thank you so very much. It's so good to see you, Dave. And she's bringing the blessings of the Holy Land here. So the reputation is sustained. Your Excellency, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, my brother the Minister, Happy New Year. You're doing so well. I'm so proud of you. God bless you. We're moving on quickly, and it's about reputation. There's a television channel in Africa that has done us proud. And sometimes I want to reflect on our yesterday, but our today matters, and it represents our today. The can-do spirit of the Nigerian. The fact that you can actually conceive an idea in Nigeria and execute it in Nigeria, and it works. Channels Television exemplifies that. Please, a round of applause for that. And so when you are shopping for the chairman of the advisory board, you didn't have to shop far, because PR is all encompassing. And our next speaker has demonstrated that spirit consistently, not just in terms of name, but commitment, financially, time, and more than anything else, wanting Nigeria to work, and Nigeria will work. Welcome with me, my brother, Dr. John Reputation Momo, the man who steers the ship of Channels Television. I'm still talking about television. Would like to thank the AIT. I believe you're live on air. Thank you so very much. I want that applause to continue. He is my special brother, Reputation John Momo.
Thank you very much indeed for your very kind words. Happy New Year, everybody. The Honorable Minister, my brother, the former
No problem, no problem.
Minister of Government, my brother, and my brother, President of the NIPR, President Council, distinguished board members, former Minister, Mr. Collins, and the representative of the Vice Chairman of the Body of Advisors, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Nigerian Reputation Summit 2026. It is a real pleasure to address you today as Chair of the Body of Advisors of this great group. Let's start with a simple fact. Nigeria is a powerhouse of potential. There's no disputing that fact. We're about 220 million and counting, with a creative and digital economy helping to redefine global culture. But too often, our stories of excellence are overshadowed by headlines that don't reflect who we actually are. And here's where the story begins. Because the reality is this: Nigeria is not just talked about, Nigeria is celebrated too. Now let's consider some of the bright spots from 2025. Our artists continue to dominate global playlists. Nigerian music stars top streaming charts worldwide in 2025, with Rema securing placements on global impact lists and billions of streams across platforms, proving that our sound resonates from Lagos to Los Angeles. Young innovators from Nigeria are winning global tech competitions, like the two girls who beat teams from Japan, Canada, and Spain with an AI safety app, placing Nigeria firmly on the global innovation map. Academically, 99 Nigerian students were recognized among the top learners in the 2025 Cambridge Awards, including multiple Best in the World distinctions and extraordinary academic affirmation. And I'm sure you expected this. Our national team, the Super Eagles, continue to inspire unity and pride. The recent victory not only was officially acknowledged as boosting cultural diplomacy, but also national cohesion. And on the global philanthropy stage, Nigeria ranked first in the 2025 World Giving Report for generosity, showing that Nigerians lead not just with voice, but with compassion and action. So, when we talk about better Nigeria, better reputation, we're not imagining an abstract ideal. We are building on actual achievements, achievements that reflect the brilliance and generosity of our people, and that contribute to the more positive global narrative about who we are. Let's be honest. For every headline of genius, there's sometimes a competing headline of frustration. But that tension itself tells us something powerful. Nigeria's reputation is dynamic, it's not fixed. And it is shaped not just by what we say, but by what we do and how consistently we do it. Reputation today moves faster than policy cycles. One viral moment can travel the world before a committee is convened to study it. And investors now price trust alongside interest rates when deciding where to commit capital. And in a digital world, culture and creativity are national assets influencing global perception in ways never seen before. That is why this summit matters. We are here not to defend Nigeria or even merely to celebrate it. We are here to strengthen it, to make sure our systems, our communication, and our actions match the excellence of our people. The sessions that follow, including the keynote address, will examine these issues in depth. How leadership choices influence national credibility, how governance translates into reputation, and how responsibility consistently exercised becomes trust. Our keynote speaker is one of Nigeria's most experienced public servants, someone who has steered complex institutions, faced tough decisions, and understood ultimately how governance and national reputation go hand in hand. He knows that good intentions are not enough. Performance must follow. So it is my hope that this summit will do more than stimulate thoughtful conversation. And so I'm hoping that it will strengthen our collective resolve to align policy with practice, communication with conduct, and aspiration with accountability. So once again, welcome to the Nigerian Reputation Summit 2026. I wish us all deliberations marked by insight, candor, and purpose, outcomes that move us closer to better Nigeria, and therefore, a better reputation. And with that, I say thank you very much indeed. God bless you all.
Please give him another round of applause. We will now be inviting some two persons for inauguration as board members. These are very distinguished Nigerians who have also paid their dues when it comes to we want to request our friends in the media, we need to find a way to arrange these microphones. They are not allowing my Auntie Moji, Mark Ojola, member of the Federal Republic, to be properly seen. I didn't say she's not tall enough, I'm just saying we are disturbing her reputation. All right, so we'll be inviting a very distinguished lady who has paid her dues. She is currently the first female president of the Nigerian Institute of Marketing. Please help me welcome Dr. Mrs. Bolajumo Bayo Ajayi. Dr. Mrs. Bolajumo Bayo Ajayi is a trailblazing marketing professional and distinguished leader whose career reflects excellence, watch her steps, innovation, watch again, steadfast commitment, and she's advancing the marketing profession even as she moves. Please stand. Let me invite all the members of the advisory board to please join the board chairman for this special, including our dear president, the president chairman of council of the NIPR, Dr. Ekene Yaku. Sir, I'm directed to invite you to also join for this. Dr. Mrs. Bolajumo Bayo Ajayi, as the first female president of the National Institute of Marketing of Nigeria, NIN, has demonstrated visionary leadership in promoting professional standards, ethical marketing practices, and capacity development across public and private sectors. Her tenure has strengthened the strategic role of marketing in national development and corporate governance, as well as reputation management. She is a strategic thinker with extensive experience in stakeholder experience and engagement, Our leadership has fostered collaboration between marketing professionals, regulators, government institutions, and industry partners in recognition of our exceptional achievements, pioneering leadership, and unwavering contribution to ethical marketing, strategic communication, and national reputation building. The Nigerian Reputation Management Group, NIPR, is proud to appoint and inaugurate Dr. Mrs. Bola Joko Bayo Ajayi as member advisory board. I now hand over to the chairman for the ceremony.
Well, there isn't much ceremony. You're in the public glare now. You just announced has been inaugurated. So by the powers conferred on me by the body of again affirm that you've been inaugurated into the body of advisors. Congratulations.
She now receives a reputational handshake from both members, and there will be a group photograph. Please give another round of applause. And now the decoration will be done by Chief Mrs. Moji Makojola, member of the Federal Republic, and a member of the planning committee for the NRNG First Summit. Please give a round of applause so Auntie Lami would know that we are recognizing gender. Another round of applause. Thank you very much. Thank you. They now pose for photograph. We invite distinguished Dame Pauline Talley to please join. We invite Okay. Then we'll now invite the next person to be decorated. And afterwards, we'll have a group photograph where the Honorable Minister will be joining. I want to welcome Dr. Leko Fadolapo. Please welcome him with a round of applause. Director General, Advertising Regulatory Council of Nigeria, ARCON. And as a member of ARCON, he's also my boss. Please give him another round of applause so I'm not delisted from ARCON. Dr. Leko Fadolapo is a seasoned professional and regulatory leader whose career exemplifies excellence, integrity, and unwavering commitment to the growth and development of Nigeria's advertising and communication ecosystem. As Director General of ARCON, Dr. Fadolapo has provided purposeful and visionary leadership in strengthening regulatory frameworks. This gentleman is a strategic thinker with deep industry insight and has consistently championed professionalism, stakeholder engagement, and capacity development. Dr. Fadolapo's tenure has further strengthened collaboration among regulators in recognition of this distinguished Nigerian and his service, visionary leadership, and outstanding contribution to ethical advertising, strategic communication, and the strengthening of Nigeria's reputation architecture. The Nigeria Reputation Management Group, NIPR, is proud to recognize Dr. Leko Fadolapo as a member of the NRNG Advisory Board. To formally inaugurate him in this capacity, I hand over once again.
Thank you very much. Again, by the powers conferred on me by the Board of Advisors, I'd like to affirm you as a member of the Advisory Board. And this insignia, thereby confirming.
This now confirms it. He's also a fellow of the NIPR. So he is with the NIPR and with ARCON. I assume that when he's done with his tenure, as Outcome Director General. He will come back to NIPR fully, with full force. Okay. We will now invite the Honorable Minister for group photograph and the special guest of honor for group photograph, that's the keynote speaker, group photograph with the two newly inaugurated members. APRA Secretary General is also invited. APRA Secretary General is also invited. Director General of Voice of Nigeria is invited. Kabiyesi Adetayo Hastro, the Olumobi of Imobi Jesha Kingdom, and serving member of the Southeast Council of Traditional Rulers is also invited. Haji Lami Tumaka, first Vice Chairman, is also invited to please join for photograph. Okay. Can we give them a reputational round of applause? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. And we now invite the President, Chairman of Council, for his address. We invite Dr. Ike Nendiaku. He will be coming up for his address shortly, after which the goodwill messages, just a few of them, we'll take, and then we'll be good to go for the keynote speaker after spoken word. Please welcome President Chairman of Council, Dr. Ike Nendiaku.
Thank you very much. I would like to, in appreciating our boss, the Minister of Information, and our guest speaker, and Dr. John Reputation Momo, and the chairman of the board of NIPR, former minister, our brother, the DCG, Komoy, and other distinguished guests with us. I am excited that you cannot see me, but I would like to tell NRNG that whether you like it or not, Auntie Moji is here to stay. So when you are bringing her, please prepare the appropriate prop so that she will be properly seen. Nobody should force my sister to be struggling to be seen, because she's a TV person, and TV requests that you should be seen, not just heard. Have I made your case, man? Congratulations and commendations indeed to the NRNG board, led by our brother, our friend, the YBO himself, Chief Yomi Manager of Busonia, for putting this summit together. I am aware very clearly that your team has prevailed in spite of the challenges, and I understand the challenges that you faced, even at the critical moment, but you had to push through, which again speaks for Nigeria's resilient spirit, our can-do spirit. I wish to also like to not just appreciate our friend, our brother, Dr. John Reputation Momo, but to also say that we really celebrate who you are, what you're doing, and the fact that Nigeria can count on you. You have used your assets and your resources to promote this nation. Thank you very much. A while ago, I reflected on the membership of the NRNG board. And that was especially when I saw Auntie Moji on television last night doing her thing. She spoke very well, very articulate on NTA, brought a different perspective to the issue we are discussing. And that's about the family value, the power of the family in building the reputation of any society. I therefore felt very confident and happy that we put together a very good board. Why do I say so? We have on this board two very powerful women that YBO has complained to me that they are jokingly though. Jokingly though, he complained that 2.5 times these powerful women around his neck have not allowed him to breathe. He said every time they are either harassing him, pushing him, asking him questions, have you done this? Why did you do this? And so on and so forth. So it was only when he had an experience, he had a dream. And in that dream, he saw the two women. One was carrying a cane, the other one was holding a broom. And they were chasing him out of bed to go and do something for NRAG. That was when he knew that the Nigeria-Morocco match was not a joke. So I want to again use these two women to appreciate all the other women in NRAG, particularly our Amazon sister, NAB as we call her, Nkichiali Balogun. Of course, I've talked of our Mujima Controller. Then I talk of Dr. Kiru Lumidoje Ojo, who came all the way from South Africa to be part of this project. And all the other women, Tosin, she's somewhere around, backing YBO in what he is doing. I'm reserving more comments until 30th or 31st of March, when we celebrate women. Then I will say all the other things they doesn't want me to say. So perhaps it is safe to say that blessed is YBO, surrounded by women that never sleep nor slumber. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, today's gathering is very strategic. Not just because we're having this summit, but because the world has changed. And the world has indeed changed. In the modern global order, reputation has since become a national powerhouse. It's a global order with immense implications on the citizens, on nations, on character, and on the economy of anybody for that matter. It is the soft, subtle influence, soft, but yet subtle influence that drives political economy and social engagements. It affects your cost of borrowing. Unknown to me, your reputation affects how much you are charged when you go to borrow money. It's as simple as that. Because money is calculated based on risk. So the poorer your reputation, the more your interest. Ask Nkiru Lumidojo. So it affects your borrowing power, your speed of investment flow, the confidence of your visitors and tourists. The president will sign a deal in UAE because UAE now perceives that the reputation of Nigeria is improving. Therefore, they can take risk to come and invest. That's how it works. If your reputation is very poor and very, very poor indeed, nobody wants to touch you. The credibility of your diplomacy is gauged by the nature of your reputation. The dignity of your citizens across borders determined by the reputation. Recently, precisely last Thursday, 15th March, the NIPR, in partnership with Reputation Perception Services, released the first Perception Index 2025. This historic report became an evidence-based document that has established a scientific framework and baseline of assessment for measuring reputation. It's no longer based on guesswork. We think this is how it is. No. We now have a scientific baseline for measuring Nigeria's reputation. And it can be adapted to any organization, to any, even individuals can use it to weigh themselves and know where they fall on the reputation scale. And I'm glad to announce that later in the year, we're also going to do the same thing for subnationals We've done it for the national, but we now have to go to subnationals because we are aware that they are receiving so much money. We want to now measure the reputation, what they have used these funds to do for citizens of their state. The interesting thing is that the reputation drivers are controlled by the citizens within and outside. Your Excellencies, my dear compatriots, the headline is very clear. Nigeria's overall reputation score is 35.2 out of 100. That's not encouraging. Placing our national reputation in the poor part and confirming that what the report describes as high potential but low trust. We have been saying this since 2021 when we unveiled the Citizens Summit for National Integration, Peace and Security, that the challenge we have is the challenge of trust. And it's still showing, but I pray that we come over it. Therefore, it is not just the global. There are 7 pillars that has been used to measure this, and that is the pillar of culture. Culture scored the highest 49.4, leadership 37.6, social equity 37.3, communication 33.7, innovation 33.1, performance 32.3, and credibility 30.7. I will not go into the details because the chairman of Nigeria Reputation Perception Services is here. At the appropriate time, he may take us through that. However, I would like to emphasize that Nigeria's greatest reputation capital is her people. Her people represent our greatest reputational asset. This is our global advantage, and we must use it. This comprises creativity, our music, our film, our fashion, our sports, our food, our resilience, and our audacity. These are the things that constitute the culture of Nigeria. Unfortunately, and quite unfortunately, culture alone cannot carry the weight. And like my vice president will always say, culture can open the door, but it cannot keep the door open. Continue. Distinguished guests, I must quickly add that this report will help us to recalibrate. As I conclude this remark, let me take a moment to address a very important reputation matter currently on the table. I thank our colleagues that engaged with me on the matter. What is it? Recently, a report broke that Nigerian government hired a United States-based consultancy firm to lobby for Nigeria's position in the ongoing challenge with the United States of America. Particularly 2 days ago, my attention was drawn again by my professional colleague, Barrister Jide Ologu, to a story in Punch newspapers of January 16, 2026, with the headline, NIPR defends FG $9 million US lobbying deal. And calls were all over the place. So I went and read the story. And after reading the story, precisely 16th of January, I saw that headline, I read the story. While the body of the story is substantially carrying what I said, the headline is contextually misleading, as always. Interestingly, first, I couldn't have defended a deal I do not have any details of. Number 2, I couldn't have defended the cost of 9 billion when I do not know what constitutes the cost. Number 3, I couldn't have defended a deal I do not even know who the dealers are. I couldn't assess their competence, their credibility, their character, their track record, and so on and so forth. There are several other indications. What I said at that presentation, which I want to repeat for purposes of clarity, because my colleagues have been very disturbed. I said that Lobbying is a public relations function and does not amount to any criminal offense. I repeat, lobbying is a public relations function and does not amount to any criminal offense. As a matter of fact, lobbying has since been accepted as a global professional element of our trade and transaction, and I'm in a position to know, designed to engage goodwill and influence to achieve specific desired value, result, and outcome. However, on the specific matter of my defending the FG $9 million deal, but I didn't say so. Indeed, we have a number of issues about the contract, centered around the appropriateness and competence of the vendors, the process, and the method of hiring them. I also say that while we are hiring US lobbying agents, and I think this is where you see, these people are now more interested in my story. I said, while it's important to hire lobbyists for specific purposes, I drew attention that Nigeria has been given a golden opportunity to host the Global Alliance World Public Relations Forum in November 2026. And I said, it's a very big forum that will bring to Nigeria prominent public relations leaders from over 126 countries to attend the forum events in Abuja. And I said that the WPRF is today the biggest public relations gathering in the world. We got the hosting right through a tough, rigorous process that went through 4 rounds of bidding. First in Bali, second virtually, third at Nairobi, Kenya, and the last one at Venice in Italy, where it was then concluded. We deployed a lot of, and I think this is where the Punch person now took it from, and said, I endorse the deal. So what I endorsed is that there is nothing wrong with lobbying. And I repeat it again, it is our function to lobby. The only thing is that the context of it, the process of it, the value of it is a different thing entirely. And I wish to be quoted right. We put in a lot of hard work to get that right. Lobbying through appropriate engagements, deploying the right strategy in the face of obvious provocations from our competitors, and facts that helped us to win the hosting right. Now that the right is with us, what we do with it is up to us. Let me caution at this point that hosting the World Public Relations Forum is not a joke by any consideration. It is a very delicate thing. A country project with many dimensions across the world. If we host it well, which I believe we will, it will raise the nation's global respect, dignity, and reputation. Because these people that are coming are the same people that advise governments, advise leaders of corporations, advise multinationals. Their views and their opinions count. So if they are coming from over 126 countries into Nigeria, it's a big deal. It's like using one stone to kill multiple birds. Therefore, if we host well, we will have 126 nations that are backing Nigeria in their respective areas. But if we don't do it well, then we'll have 126 countries fighting us at the same time. That's why it is very, very delicate that we must not joke with this, we must get it right. I want to use this opportunity to thank most sincerely the Honorable Minister of Information and National Orientation, Alhaji Mohammed Idris, NIPR, for his relentless support throughout the process of this bid. I remember my many calls to him. At some point, he had to speak to the president of Global Alliance. He had to speak to this person. He had to do that just to make sure that he came to Nigeria. We want to thank you, sir. Thank you very, very much. Because you clearly understand what is at stake. But the reality is that now that he has helped us to get it here, he cannot carry it alone. The rest of the nation, the rest of government must see what is in this and take it seriously. I've just been summoned to a meeting on this matter to come and defend our schedules, our programs, and so on. As a matter of fact, since July 2025, Nigeria has been under scrutiny. The assessment of Global Alliance commenced. Every month, I am required to give reports on updates. Every month, every first Tuesday of the month, I have to give an update on how we are faring and so on and so forth, because they are interested. And our competitors are waiting for us to have a challenge, and then they will say, I told you. But nothing we tell them. We post it. And we have said that this one will be the biggest, the brightest, and the boldest they have ever seen on earth, because we can do it. And we told them that at the end of the day, they will see that when you come to Nigeria, there is no wahala.
Yes.
Your wahala is gone. So come to Nigeria, go without wahala. They are rehearsing no wahala. For the avoidance of that, I want to emphasize, and I'm proud to say so, that NIPR has one of the biggest body of knowledge for any aspect of public relations practice in the world. And I mean it, because we have been engaging. I'm delighted to say that just this morning, I got a call from the president of Global Alliance that the NIPR has been adjudged the best public relations association in the world. In the world. And this is a competition that involves Public Relations Society of America, Chartered Institute of Public Relations of UK, and all the other global public relations associations. NIPR came first in the world, your country. My dear colleagues, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, as we open this next chapter of Nigeria Reputation Summit, I present to us a national call to action. Let us deepen leadership through consistency. Let us protect social equity so that our citizens can experience fairness and inclusion. Let us strengthen innovation by enabling young people, supporting their enterprise, protecting their talent, and building predictable systems. Let us manage our communication with coherence and singleness of purpose to drive the right narrative of our nation. I pray, and many times I pray, that we are not going to continue to have confused spokespersons trying to spoil the work of Idris Mohammed. When he is managing this way, some characters are scattering this way. It's a very difficult thing to do. No, it's true, and we must say it. Sorry, I'm not paid by government, so I'm the only person who can say it, and we see it. And I'm saying it on your behalf. If I'm not right, say so. Those in support of me, say aye. Aye. The ayes have it. You know, because you see, if you don't have coherence, that's the challenge. We engaged with global community when we are doing this report. And they say that the issue is that we don't have coherence in our communication. One is talking this way, the other one is talking that way, the other one is talking this way. Sometimes they say they are confused. They don't even know which one to believe. We must have a way of addressing these issues. I conclude as I quote Dr. Celestine Achi. This morning he sent a message that he normally does across. And they titled it Rising from the Dust, a New Narrative for Nigeria. And I quote, he said, they say reputation is the hardest thing to build, and the easiest to lose. For years, our nation's image has been buried under layers of doubt, stereotypes, and missed opportunities. But I see a new Nigeria emerging, not from the shadows of emotional outbursts, but from the solid ground of strategic intent. We are transforming from a country of potential to a country of performance. I urge that today's Nigeria Reputation Summit must not end as a conference. YPO and your team, our advisor, Dr. John Momo, please, a movement has been ignited. A movement to redefine the character and the reputation of Federal Republic of Nigeria. You must connect with government sector. You must connect with the civil society. You must connect with the media. But more importantly, you must lend this gift to the citizens of Nigeria to help you to drive this process. To our esteemed guest speaker, Your Excellency Babatunde Raji Fashola, SAN, we thank you for remaining who you are, remaining credible. We appreciate your sacrifice. We salute your courage. We celebrate you at a time like this. Thank you for finding the time to be with us, in spite of your commitments across the world. Yesterday, I had the opportunity of meeting a Nigerian, a young Nigerian, who is based in the US, working very hard, very, very hard. A lawyer, has served many organizations in government and out of government. And he said he wants to relocate to Nigeria and that he has been training it. He has been working hard. Every year he comes back here to spend some time. And it was just yesterday that I had the opportunity of meeting him. And I said, what is your plan? He said, this country remains the best on earth. I have been out there. And he gave me 3 reasons why he wants to come back and work in Nigeria. And I thought that people like him should be identified and meant to be our reputation drivers. Because he's gone there, he has worked with them in the highest offices, but he still believes that there is no country like Nigeria. I want to invite Ebuka. Please come. Please come. Because I didn't tell you I was going to do this. That's your first test. Just in 30 seconds, tell us why you want to come back to Nigeria.
Well, this is definitely a surprise. Good evening, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Charles Chukwuka. I'm based in the United States, and like he said, I come back here 3 or 4 times a year. In America, Nigeria has so much potential. It is very clear for folks like myself who were born and raised in America. But the most important thing we see is the potential. And that potential comes from events like this. Time and time again, we think about what is Nigeria we think about for ourselves, for our family, and our friends. And the 2 things I care about are communities like this. The second thing I care about is making sure Nigeria uses all the potential it has. So it's folks like myself, my family, my colleagues, and that's one thing that drives me. As a lawyer by trade, I spend a lot of time in the court.
Mr. President. Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to go to the crux of the matter, the lecture to be presented by a very, very distinguished Nigerian who needs no much introduction. But permit me to welcome a member of the Federal Republic to introduce this gentleman, President Santimoji.
Thank you very much. Your Excellencies, all very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is with such fulfillment and pride that I would want to read an abridged citation of our keynote speaker for today. Your Excellency, my brother, please come up. And shall we please welcome him warmly while we take his citation. Born on the 28th of June 1963 in Lagos, Mr. Babatunde Raji Fashola, SAN, is a 1987 law graduate of the University of Benin, and after a 14-year stint in private law practice as a litigator, he has had a public service career that spans over 2 decades long. In that period of public service, he has served as Chief of Staff and Commissioner in Lagos State, 2-term Governor of Lagos, and in May 2023, meritoriously concluded serving a second term as Minister of the Federal Government, having first been appointed in 2015 and reappointed in 2019. Babatunde Fashola was called to the Nigerian bar in November 1988. His career as a barrister and solicitor started as the law firm of Shokunte, Osakwe, Ogudipe, and Belgore, where he engaged in general litigation over diverse areas of law in magistrate, high court, appeal courts, and the Supreme Court of Nigeria. As an advocate, Mr. Fashola has distinguished himself. In August 2004, he was conferred with the rank of the Senior Advocate of Nigeria, SAN, meritoriously. Nigeria's highest legal distinction. He is the first member of the law school class of 1988 to take the rank of Senior Advocate of Nigeria, and the second University of Benin Faculty of Law graduate to be so honored. As a public servant, he has served with no less distinction and dedication, and has been acknowledged locally and internationally for his dedication to service. Mr. Babatunde Fashola, SAN, is the recipient of the prestigious Stephen J. Solas Award of the International Crisis Group in 2015 for his commitment to building a peace and vibrant society. His work to improve social and economic conditions in Lagos, including his role in preventing the Ebola outbreak from becoming a crisis in Nigeria. He was listed in 2014 as one of the 100 top global thinkers for 2013 by a global personal assessment organization, Lo Spazio Delta Politica, I hope I told that right, based in Italy and Brussels. Time magazine has commended him for the overall of Lagos infrastructure, while the Economist magazine acknowledged him as a rare good man and a governor who does his job well. Mr. Fashola, SAN, is patron, Chartered Institute of Arbitrators, member, Nigerian Bar Association, member, International Bar Association, fellow of the Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria, Notary Public of the Supreme Court of Nigeria. Mr. Babatunde Fashola is the chairman of the Nigerian Institute of Medical Research Foundation. I was asked that. So beyond his calling as a lawyer, I present to you a man of immense integrity, my brother, my chairman, Mr. Babatunde Raji Fashola, SAN, married.
Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let me start by thanking Tinuji for that rendition and to say that I didn't know she's like an onion. really, as you peel one layer, you find another one. So our paths first crossed when I served on the Board of Trustees of the Nigerian Institute of Medical Research Foundation. And it was then I realized that she wasn't a scientist, she was a media person. And then I got here again and I thought, what are you doing here again? Thank you, Mr. Moji, really, really diverse. Let me adopt all of the protocols and the recognitions. And importantly, I would like to adopt the address delivered by the President of the NIPR as my own. And really and truly, all that really needs for me to say is to say thank you, and so that I can go and say that. Because I think that was exactly the lecture I would have given. And if the eyes have it, I'm looking only for the eyes. Honestly, let me commend your leadership for the generation of the perception measurement index. And to say first that it is so important that efforts have been made to measure something. Because if you don't measure, you can't manage. And let me also commend all of the personalities and the minds that have conceived of this summit about Nigeria's reputation. They deserve nothing but our utmost commendation. And for those who are here, for those who are online, for those who will hear about this, these people deserve nothing but our commendation. Parts of the invitation letter said that their objective was to quote, chart, implement, and measure actionable programs that will raise the national consciousness and positively influence the actions and inactions that shape Nigeria's reputation. End quote. The President has alluded, and I said I've adopted that speech, so I'm going to make copious references to it, about risk, image, and of course brand. What we do or fail to do affects us in many more ways than we have probably paid attention to. For those who do business, if you map the cost of insurance by ocean freight to different parts of the world, you will see different prices and their reputation based. So our daily livelihoods, our cost of living, and so on and so forth, is so connected to this intangible asset, but very priceless asset of our collective reputation. And so this is a momentous conversation to have. As he was talking about the event to be hosted at the end of the year, and I will make allusions later as I make my suggestions. I was telling the Honorable Minister, I said, well, it's either a reputation coup or a reputation disaster. And that's why I said that was my address. I have had the privilege while serving this country listening to colleague ministers telling themselves, if you visit Nigeria, you should go to Abuja. And I said, no, come to Lagos. And they said, no. Abuja is the best planned city in the whole of Africa. That's how they see us. This is what they have told me. But back to the conveners. I say that they are problem solvers. They are taking it upon themselves to do something. This is an arduous choice, but they have made one. So they are different from those who simply say no, it's not good, it's not working. That's the easiest thing to do. So I see this as an act of patriotism. I hope that it will be sustained not only by this summit, but by subsequent summits and by measurable actions. I see this as an act of exemplary commendation. This is what citizens are expected to do. Section 24 of our Constitution in subparagraph B provides that, quote, it shall be the duty of every citizen, every one of us, without exception, to, quote, help enhance the power, the prestige, and the good name of Nigeria. I don't know if we take time to read these things and defend Nigeria and render such national service as may be required. End of quote. It's a duty imposed on us. I don't know how many of us read it, because I always encourage people, go and read it. It's not law, even though it's a law. It's written in simple English. Because we will see, thank you. So, when Yomi Badejo Sawyer asked me to deliver this lecture, I had no reservation at all about accepting. I just wanted to identify the people who were doing what citizens do. It is for me both an honor and also a duty. So, what is reputation? It is the beliefs or the opinions that are generally held about something, someone, a country, a city, a family, a brand. But let us just hold that thought a minute. And in our public conversations, what we say, how we say them, how has that helped to shape our reputation? I hear this statement from time to time that we are not a nation, for example. And some people quote one great statesman who said, we are this and that. And when you go back and read the context in which he was speaking, that wasn't what he meant. Because we are many nations, we are not one nation. I want to repeat that. We are many nations, not one. But those many nations have been forced into a country. And there's a distinction between nation and country. And so as we set on this journey, we must begin to have clarity about what we are putting forward under the name and banner of Nigeria as a reputation. Because that will be our ultimate branding message put forward by ourselves. I think we should hold that and understand that we need to go back. Nation, country, they're different. We have many nations in one country, and we're not the only one. We're not the only one. So, let me share two quick stories. I apologize, I will be personal about this reputation thing. So, two quick stories. 1976, I was 13, and I was the oldest of a triumvirate of siblings. My father had planned a holiday trip abroad. It was a 1-month holiday. So the next person to me was 11, and the next 9. So I was daddy and mommy on that. We left Nigeria on our company. People were waiting for us in a hotel in Italy, in Rome. And from there we went to many other countries. A month-long holiday ended in Paris, talked so many places. But two stories just to take and to perhaps demonstrate my own experience of the nation whose citizen and the country rather whose citizen I am. So in Rome, we wanted to visit the Colosseum, and we had set out from the hotel and we took the street map. Of course, inexperienced as we had never left the country before. We didn't read the map properly. After walking for about an hour, we saw that we hadn't reached the place. And so we sought help. So we walked into an ice cream parlor. And in a smattering of French and fluent English, we got our problem across. And the man looked at me and said, you turned this map upside down. Instead of going east, you are going west. So you have to go back. So we thanked him, we bought ice cream, we paid for the ice cream, and met today. And he said, by the way, where are you from? And we said, so he said, you're from Africa? We said, yes. Where in Africa? I said, Nigeria. He said, great country, rich country, powerful country. And he said, wait, take your money back. This is the first time I'm speaking of that experience. It left me with a lot of pride. So off we went, Colosseum and back. The next experience came when we got to London. So we went to a corner shop, we went to buy orange juice. And as we got in there, the shopkeeper, chatty, friendly, where are you from? We said we were from Nigeria. He said, please wait. He left us in the shop, went upstairs, excited, brought his wife and his children down, and asked if we would please take photographs with them. So he asked another shopper to please help him take that photograph with the then Polaroid camera. It was the rave of the moment in the 70s. And I just felt, really, this is a fantastic country. So those were the things that shaped my own impressions about my country as a teenager. And I just want to point out that whilst all of that was happening, that was the perception about us. That was the belief about us. It was not without challenges at home. Those who are old enough will remember that we had people whose main occupation at the time was violent crimes in the name of armed robbery, just as we are dealing with violent crimes today. But our reputation was not affected or besmirched by it in the way that we confront today. And if you remember famously, those people were then caught and publicly done what shot after conviction. We also had at that time the famous foreign exchange illicit trade called RNG. Those people gave us, they took a few inches away from our brand, but they did not diminish our brand significantly because we were responding. And the point I wish to make from that is that there is no country without its challenges. And how we embrace those challenges is what defines us, not the challenges themselves. If you go into our store of music, whether it is Celeste Nuku, it is Osita Osadebe, or it is Sonia Ade, and many of them, the legends they highlight, all of these challenges and the need for turnaround is embedded in the rich law. And those are some of the tools that we just need to recreate against. Because the tools are there. I will resolve to put them to use. And that is why, again, I commend the convening of this meeting. Now let me try and move a little more quickly, because I think again I will continue to repeat. My work has been done for me. So, from that childhood experience, I tell people I'm not just a proud Nigerian. I'm an arrogant one. I'm arrogant about my country. And so I tell people that I have not received one day's education outside this country. All my education was here. So, proudly made in Nigeria. Arrogantly too. So, everything, every inch that we think that we have lost, we can get back if we decide to. And a platform like this, a gathering like this, is the best place if there ever was to start. So, at that time, let me make this point too. When we graduated from the University of Benin, again, Yomibade Johnson and I were at the University of Benin together. Not a few of our colleagues left Nigeria. The wave of the moment at that time in the 80s was checking out. I'm tired of this country. I'm checking out. Aha, we connect. Now it's Japan. 35 years after. So the more things change, the more they seem to remain the same. But you know what has happened? Almost all of them have come back. So, why is this? This is the land of opportunities. This is the land of unending possibilities. This is where the biggest rags to riches stories have happened. This is where people of the most humble beginnings have risen to the top of leadership. Look at Nigeria's history. Which son of a king, which son of an Oba, which son of a billionaire ever made it to a president? Think about it. But do we like what we see? We spend so much time valorizing other people's dreams, and we leave this profound, continuing, and unfolding experience of opportunities behind because we don't price it and we don't brand it and we don't tell it enough. And so the next generation wants a way instead of wanting to stay here. Yes, there are a few people amongst us who choose a path that gives us a cause for concern, but they do not define us. They do not reflect what right thinking and what well-meaning people believe about us. You know, late Chief Obafemi in his days, anytime he had to address an audience, he used to say that he was coming to address only right thinking and well-meaning people. Because he knew that not everybody would agree with him. But when a poll was taken, they would see that right thinking and well-meaning people will be with him. And so, in purposing this conversation forward, let us focus on right thinking and well-meaning people. Not everybody will agree with us. So in 2024, after I left office, I took a vacation to a North African country, and I went into the market with my wife. And immediately they discerned that I was Nigerian. They came, some of them came and said, "How is Yekini?" I said, "Yekini has passed. How is Amokachi? How is Deji Okocha?" Those were the people that right thinking and well-meaning people are concerned about. Not those ones who give us a bad name. They're not concerned about them. So, and this is the image that we have created for ourselves with our talent and our sporting prowess, which the president has referred to again in his address. and what are we doing with it? Because talent at this time, in this milieu, is being rewarded more than at any time in the world. So what used to be a hobby, what used to be the function and undertaking of quote and unquote dropouts is now the biggest professions in the world, paying unthinkable income and giving leverage and access to the highest places in the world. You want to see presidents associate themselves now with sports personalities, musicians, and all of that. And they are determining politics, whether we like it or not. And we have this knowledge, and we are not leveraging it sufficiently, in my view, to impact the opinion of right thinking and well-meaning people. So I go to a few thoughts about what I think we should focus on. And the first one is ownership. Let us own the idea of Nigeria. Because I don't think we have owned it enough. So I hear some of our colleagues and our compatriots who, by virtue of the 1999 Constitution, have dual citizenship. I have only one. And when they talk to me, they say your country, I say stop. It's our country. Your problem is our problem. And there must be that common ownership on every platform. And I'm here glad Dr. John Momo is here and all of the public communication management. On any live program, if you hear that, you put a stop to it and ask the person to take it back. It is our country. It's our problem. And if we have common ownership, we will solve it. We've spoken about our resilience. Nothing we have decided to combat has ever defeated us. But do we have common ownership? And I will quickly leave the matter there. Ownership. I will go to positivity, which is the next one. And this is a function of choice of words. And I think that, I don't know how it happened, but we have become extremely negative in our conversation and in our choice of words. So we have to become positively intentional now as we speak about ourselves, as we speak about our communities, as we speak about our country. So, as I was preparing this address, a few thoughts flooded back. So I remember at one time, I think you probably watched, when in one country lawmakers were invaded by a mob. And some of the greatest politicians the world knows were scampering for their life. So some of my mentees came to me and said, but you're a politician and these people, how can this happen? This is not possible, it can't happen. I said, this is real life. It's not a movie. All of those movies that you have watched where they nearly capture their president, then they turn something around, then they beat everybody, and then they will clap. This is real life. They are facing a mob. But what is the connection to our reputation? It's about the positivity of those people. They have used all their tools to create a notion of invincibility around themselves. And so, those movies have gone across the world. And we have translated them into reality. Albeit there were many takes, many repeats, many stunts. But in real life, when a mob is coming, no law enforcement agency can cope. That's real life. And if you ask the specialists in law enforcement, they will even tell you that if you are overpowered, retreat. But these people have used the power of positivity to create an impression. And what have we done with a similar power? We have created an impression in people's minds using the same power to think that you can get rich by using human score. Because people now believe it. And that is the power of reputation management, brand shaping, brand management. Very powerful tool. And I keep asking, where have you ever seen any currency that was printed with blood? It's ink they use, and it's machine. So why are you carrying human skull? But it is a belief that we have allowed to grow without consciousness. But we can turn it around. And I'm happy that the Honorable Minister is here because one of the parastatals that manages that industry, I believe, is under his remit. The message must change. So, I think I believe positivity. But before I do so, there's also positivity of the word, what we say. So, and I think for us as a country, that's perhaps the most pivotal place. What do we say about ourselves? A few days ago, I watched on TV as one Nigerian who qualifies as a statesman says words to this effect on TV. This way, I'm paraphrasing. Gender representation is a disgrace in Nigeria. End of quote. Statement. Now, I don't mean to put it that. That's not my intention, my friend. But it's an example of a subconscious error that many of us, including I, have made about not being aware of the power of what we say and how we say it. So, I am no expert myself, but my public service experience has taught me a few things. I've had people teach me how to sit down, how to dress, what colors to wear, and so we don't leave those things to chance. So today I will confess, I was supposed to grant an interview to a foreign TV outfit a few months after I came up. And I sat on a couch and went like this, like a big man, as a young man. And the foreign international correspondent who was to interview me just looked at me and started giggling. I said, okay, let's get this thing on the road. I said, no, Governor, I put you on global TV like this, I finish your career. You can't sit down. And then he taught me posturing right there and there. And he said, you can't sit in this sofa. So he got a straight back chair and said, this is what we call BBC. Your butt in the back of the chair. But how many of us? And so from then on, it was training after training, referrals to agencies who did this work, training myself and my team. And still, the work never stops. So, how you use the word? So, we had this, when I heard gender representation is a disgrace in Nigeria, I froze in my seat. thought to myself, what if we had simply said, instead of that, what if we had said we can improve on our gender representation indices and inspire the people to action instead of condemnation? So, and it just brought in my own throwback. We were supposed to present something on law enforcement way back, and I asked one of my assistants to write a speech. It was about traffic enforcement. So when I saw the draft speech, and I said, oh, and there were words to this effect that, okay, the reason that we were doing this was because, quote and unquote, Lagos residents were lawless. I said, oh, we're going to go and tell the people we are leading that they are lawless people. We just lost our mandate. I said, can we change this and say that we want to see improved traffic compliance? These are just but two examples of the power of the word and how we say and use them individually, in offices, in private businesses, affects that index that we have seen. So, very quickly, our own collective self-esteem. How do we see ourselves? Have we lost belief in ourselves? I certainly don't think so. Unfortunately, we have seen a few examples of some people who give us a bad reputation, and we are now at the point where some countries have the audacity to tell us, don't come to our country. Now, are we submissive and surrendering and apologetic? Or are we really the giants that we are with pride to say, we will take this on the chin, but we will not come. And we will remake, and we will rebuild, and we will have parity again. Because the truth is that one of the things I learned from very early in life, the power of the customer who is spending money. In all of those places where they are harassing us today, we go and spend real good money. And so, from a place of national pride, not a place of support for bad behavior, let us rethink how we reapproach these things, because it becomes reputation. So just imagine if your neighbor said, don't come to my house again, I don't want to see your children here. So what would you really be doing? Please, neighbor. That's not how I was raised. So let's just think about it from that perspective. And every little thing that we contribute to that collective response becomes the measure of who we are. So I recall when one country asked us not to, so I met some of their representatives in another country. It was a work visit. So they now said, how are we going to end this? I said, why are you asking me? I said, because they have seen a 30% drop in their economy attributable to us not coming. So, you know what I did? I dug in deeper because I seen blood, so I put the knife deeper. Literally. I said, we're moving that money to your neighbors. He said, how do we solve this problem? I said, well, I'll tell you what is in your country. I didn't make the decision. But that was me standing up for my country in a small way that I could. I wasn't going to beg. I'm almost done. So I have spoken about positivity and all of that. I will speak now about our ambassadors. Now, there are two categories of them. Those who did not nominate themselves as ambassadors. The sportsmen, the fashion, culture, music, our food. They're doing wonderful things for our brand. Honorable Minister, I think that we should also pay very, very serious attention now to our colors. All of those colors on our flag have a specific code. And the time has come to put everything back and together. At sporting events, at international events, where anything that is supposedly representative of us must not be off green, must not be dark green, must not be olive green. It must be our green. Please. Because it is emblematic of our identity. So, for those non-appointed ambassadors who are using their talent to project our image again, great patriots, great citizens, commendable. I just want to share a soft side. So, I went to the bar conference in Cancun, in Mexico about 2 years ago. So I visited Cancun. And I met this lawyer who came, I think he came from Oklahoma. So immediately he realized I was also a lawyer. We started chatting. And when he found out I was in Nigeria, the first thing he asked me was, how can he order amala and begiri with a wedu online? And I said, are you serious? Where did you hear about it? He said he came to Ogun State to do some work. He ate the food and fell in love with it. I didn't have an answer. How do you order begiri and a wedu online? But these are the many nuggets of affiliations, interactions, with which we have presented ourselves, probably sometimes innocuously to people of the world. So, of course, our cuisine is gaining global appeal. And when you look at all of the nations that have dominated the world, oftentimes is their food first.
Yes.
And then their music. And then they make you start dressing like them. And then you lose your identity and embrace them. After that, they take over. So that renaissance has started. The whole world is listening to our music. Listening to our, watching our movies. They are not paying attention to our food. And those pretenders to our faith who contest our unpatented rights to jollof rice have lost the war. All the pretenders have lost the war. They know now the Nigerian jollof rice is it or it isn't. So, and these are the things that we must pay more attention to. That's where the soft power, the respect, the interactions, the I know you, breaks the ice. But from there, we now have the formal ambassadors. And I'm going to make my recommendation based on my own experience. I visited an African country as minister, and I was received by our ambassador in that country. And over dinner, preparatory to my meeting, I shared with him the purpose of my visit. And it was a ministry-related sector issue. Ultimately, it turned out that the ambassador had no clue what Nigeria's position on those matters were. So now that we have appointed ambassadors, preparatory to posting, high-level, intense sharing of policy positions, what's our fiscal position, our tax laws, incentives for investments, what's our position on oil and gas, what's our position on mineral mining. They must have handy knowledge and information to really represent us. How long does it take to register a business in Nigeria? They must know that. So it's important and it must be a continuing engagement. That is my first recommendation. It's never too late. So, Honorable Minister, I think I have the mandate of the conveners to ask you to reach out to your colleague in Foreign Affairs to start that process from today. The other point, which comes from experience, was that over my time as minister here, very often I will get letters dispatched by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to various departments, including mine. They were from our many ambassadors abroad, asking us to come and visit the countries where they were hosted. And I must say today that unfortunately, most, if not all of those letters ended up in my shredder. The reason is this: if there was a problem with development at all, here, not there, what am I going to do there? Those who want to do business with me must come and see where I live. They can't film me from a slide. That's all I can present to them there. Slides. But they can film me temperature. I know that this place is warmer than their country. I know that we have sit-outs here and we are not huddled up at night in one triple clothing. And decided, okay, one of the reasons to invest here is that I will come here once in a while when it's cold in my country and come and see my investment. So, what am I alluding to? Our ambassadors must invite people to come and visit Nigeria, not the other way around. You see why I said the president has given my speech. He was talking about a major event, and we must host more of those events. We have the facilities, we have the hotels, we have the transport system. We can improve on what is not enough, but it is important to take the first big step and agree that there is a turnaround in movement. They are coming more, we are going less. This is what is called MICE. In modern administration, it is the acronym for meetings, incentives, conventions, and exhibitions. It is what nations are using now to drive their economies, hosting events in their country. Any small event they are hosting, sports they are hosting. So, how many of the music concerts that we are generating, the global music, how many are being performed here? That's what brings people here. That's what explodes the myths and the fabrications. And people will leave us with their real experience. And when they tell them don't come to Nigeria, say I'm going back. I enjoyed myself the last time I went. So, the last point, of course, is law and order. If it was left to me to choose, the one brand, the one image, the one reputation that I would love Nigeria to have would be people saying that place is a law-abiding place. Contracts are enforced. Law enforcement works. Life is predictable. It's a good reputation to have because it leads to other good things. And need I continue? But it is the sum total of our conduct, and not just the presence of police or the absence of the army that determines whether we are seen as a law-abiding and law-respecting people, because that is the first benchmark that I, as a lawyer, will do in due diligence report to a client who wants to go and invest anywhere. I will check what is governance like. Do they obey their courts? Do they stop at traffic lights? Why did we buy them if we won't use them? So, big reputational issue. And of course, the one that we have dealt with here this morning, just time management. We agreed that this event will start at 10, and we started thereon or about. And we didn't have to wait for anybody to start. That's a good reputation to also have. When all of this is now said and told, yes, there is no perfection. Government continues to struggle. You campaign in poetry, you govern in prose. It's tough. I've been there and done it before. So sometimes there will be a need to see that government does more. Indeed, that is how it should be. The best government can do better and become excellent. The struggling government can become a good government. But when government and a few people let us down, we must not throw our country under the bus because we are angry with the acts of a government or a department of government or an individual. So I close. As I said on page 94 of my book titled Nigerian Public Discourse, the interplay of empirical evidence and hyperbole, quote, we must understand that government is different from country. We must criticize government and politicians without throwing our country under the bus. This is possible because governments will change, politicians will come and go, but the territory of the Federal Republic of Nigeria will outlive us. End of quote. Thank you for your attention.
Was it what our calling him? Did he speak up to expectations? Beyond expectations. To say that I'm proud of him is an understatement. But for me, the takeaway is the Nigerianness that we have spoken in the past.
Made in Nigeria.
Made in Nigeria, for Nigeria, by Nigeria. For us, on behalf of all of us, my special person, we started the Nigerian Institute of Medical Research Foundation with nothing, with one hope, nothing. Called people around, reputation worked, in one hall, in one day, in less we raised more than 300 million for the NIPR Foundation. We go to Lagos and we have to pay our way. When you work in Manila, don't think that it's about Naira. It's about what you can bring to the table, the value on behalf of all. I'm sure there are people who want to react. I know you're traveling. I know your time is spent. Can you give us 12 minutes?
No, President was just.
The minister will yes. All right. You want reaction. We'll take 2 people. Sir, 2 people. Just 2 people. Yes. You want 2 people who will react. Yes. Please sit down. Please be seated. I'll take the Executive Director of the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency and any other volunteer person. A lady. A young person. Yes, I recognize you, the lady in black. Yes. Yes. With the glasses. Can you come up, please? Quickly. Right, please. Reaction. The reaction will continue even when he leaves us. Thank you. The young lady in glasses with your hair braided. 1 minute.
Wow. Your Excellency, sir, Honorable Minister, distinguished guests, please permit me to stay. Just one. I think that I'm so glad I came. I had to leave the function that I was leading. I'm so glad I did because you have really validated what another generation, we are calling us to know that there's another generation behind you. My name is Muyi Ainada Muyi. I am the Executive Director of the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency. And everything that you said, I resonate with me. Just one thing that I think I would add to that is also comes from the challenge that for those of us who are in public service, there's been a lot of conversation about managing the reputation of the country. But we have an obligation to make it easy for those of you who are managing the reputation, to make it easy. You ended on a note that said that people need to separate government from country. But I think as government officers, as servants of the public, we also have an obligation to emulate people like you and do our best. When in the health sector, just 1 minute, one of the critical pillars of the strategy that the Minister Party is around the governance of this system, where all of our institutions will try to improve integrity and transparency. And many things that we're doing, I won't have the time to go into them, but just yesterday I got a letter, I'm really happy, from the watchdog, anti-corruption watchdog, ICPC, to my agency, for example, where they do annual evaluations of institutions, public institutions. When I first came about a year ago, we had ranked 233rd out of 323 institutions that were assessed. I was very embarrassed, and I charged my team. I said, let's go on the journey. And the letter that I got, the assessment that the judge did around 17, which is a mark of the improved transparency, and we are going to first. So thank you very much. I'm very proud, and thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you so very much. We're growing. Where's the young woman, the young lady?
She's here. She's here.
Thank you. Yes. Let's not so young. Good afternoon, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mercy Iluemuno. I want to thank you so much, sir. Very inspiring presentation. I really learned a lot. I'm sure we all did. Okay, so you were talking about owning Nigeria. It resonated with me. Because I know something that belongs to me we cherish. So something came to mind. Healthcare. If we say we want to own Nigeria as a people, how are we going to be able to get healthcare to be owned both by the rich and by the poor? How do we get the average Nigerian to be able to access proper healthcare? Is there something we can do about that? Then the second thing I want to ask is, sorry, just a short one. You talked about ambassadors, natural ambassadors and appointed ambassadors. I have always thought that before our elected officials take oath of office, they need to attend some form of retreat or workshop. Because the truth is, when they get into office, they are alienated from the people. They don't feel the pulse of the people. So is there a way we can get them to have a kind of maybe 6-week retreat where they learn what the needs of the people are? and know how to respond to people. Thank you. Thank you very much. We cannot do it without the leaders of today and for our tomorrow. And so I give the microphone to you.
Good afternoon. My name is Precious Tulu. Like you, I'm an alumni of the University of Benin. I was a member of Babatunde Fashola Chamber, which later became a student firm, which I became the managing partner for during my university days. So, as a member of the Freedom of Information Act CDS, I have a question. How can we actually change our reputation as a nation without first fixing institutional systems that actually affect governance, especially in our countries? How do we do that?
All right, thank you, sir, for your incredible lecture. I am Oluwa Adege from the Youth Parliament of Abuja. I'm protocol director, and I see my job as a way of being able to translate what the youths want to policymakers and back. And when we talk about things like this and reputation, what comes to my mind is that the fact that we have one of the highest youth indexes in the world. Most of our population are youth. So when we talk about these things, we have to think from the point of view and because that's where they are. We can't say these things and big on things like newspapers anymore. It's a new generation. I'm thinking, how do you iterate all these ideas to the youth online and other ways like that?
A quick picture here. Yes, the future today with I dare say today's success. You would not get this joy. I didn't hear the Google. I got this from the great side that our keynote speaker is not just BRF from time immemorial is today's success. Don't say I don't.
Your reaction. Okay.
That's a good picture. Yes.
Can we have the youth purpose?
Yeah, come, please. Quickly.
Can we have the purpose?
They are there.
Quickly, let us go.
All the core members, quickly.
Telling them there's no time. We are doing which kind of
Quickly.
they play with time. He was not an opportunity for them. They never get it. When they bring it,
Can we Honorable Minister, please join this for this youth, and of course the President of NIPR and Chairman of the Advisory Board, John Reputation Momo, and of course YPO. Please can you join this? Poly talent. We'll have response from His Excellency. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. His Excellency, Babatunde Fashola will now respond. Your Excellency.
So, thank you very much. I think the first okay, let me start with the last one from about how we get this message online. which is where the juice is for the much younger generation. And I think that whilst I subscribe to that, and those of you who are part of this conversation in person and online must move it to your platform of convenience. I think that is your responsibility to slice it and juice it the way you like. What is important is that whatever way you receive the information, people watch movies on their handheld devices. Another generation is still more comfortable with the large TV screen, which is going out of fashion. But at the end of the day, they're getting the same information substantially. So I leave it to you there. Precious was asking about building a reputation and still fixing the institutions. Now, we've had this debate about whether it is institutions or it is people. And my colleague, former Attorney General of Lagos, Shiposasore, who took the view about institutions, has not been able to provide evidence in support of the case he maintains. Because I take the view that whether institutions do well or do badly, it is people who have done well or who have done badly. There is nothing inherently esoteric about an institution, whether it is a country created by the charter of a constitution or Channels TV, for example, created by the Corporate Affairs Commissioner's Certificate of Registration, just a piece of paper, until this man and his team turned it into the house that it is. And if you go inside, you will see how leadership recruitment perhaps is ensuring that bad people don't come in, and if they miss the first filter, they get rid of them quickly before they become insidiously damaging to the institution. So, what am I saying? The making and management of institutions is the making and management of people, and the work that is unending. But the fact that institutions face challenges does not mean that we should then be bereft of a good reputation, if you get what I mean. I agree with the idea of retreats, and I am a deep subscriber to it. Well, at state and national level, we have quarterly retreats, but also, let me say that the demand of the large public that we collectively serve doesn't end. So when we leave the office for 2 days, what we come back to meet untreated or unattended to just piles up. So sometimes you're even not sure whether it was worth the getaway to take the retreat. But the bonding that it brings, because we have to work in teams, and that's why it's important, and your recommendations about it is spot on. Whether we can own Nigeria without healthcare. Now, really and truly, let me say this. We deserve the best possible service that we can get. And service is also reputational. Service is reputational. But the fact that the service has not reached the level that we want it to reach does not mean that we should then savage our reputation by our conduct. And there's really nothing exceptional about choice. So if you can afford it, and you choose not to use a service here, and you want to go abroad, that choice must be respected. The important thing is that those of us who are obliged to provide the service must ensure that we do our very best to give the best of the service to ensure that we are not driving you out of want. So, for example, I always said back then that we will maintain public schools to the highest possible standards, but we have a right to choose which schools we want to send our own children to. If they go to public schools, fine. If you want, but that would be no excuse to drop the ball. So I think that it is possible, therefore, to still own Nigeria whilst we fix the challenges, because there is no place that is free of challenges. Really, life without challenges is life not lived, if you ask me. The interesting story is to look back and see all of the adversity that we have overcome and say, really, we did that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, Mr. Babatunde Wajima, Senior of Nigeria. Just before you go, there is a presentation that we made to you. We'd like to invite the chairman of the NRMG Advisory Board, Dr. John Nomo, and the Man Republic called YPO to do the presentation. Dr. John Nomo and YPO to do the presentation. And while they're doing that, I would like to recognize the presence of distinguished Senator Benga Ashapa, who has been seated in the audience all the time. You're welcome, sir.
This is about my pay grade. I've never been a minister before. How can I be presenting an award to a minister? There's only one minister in the house. I'm chairman, but there's ministers. I would like the Honorable Minister to do the presentation, accompanied by the President to do the presentation above my pay grade.
Well, as you can see, the movement of the flag has moved to the President of NIPR. Is he going?
I hereby transfer this to the Minister of Information.
Okay. And it's moving to get to its destination shortly.
Congratulations, Your Excellency, for this very inspiring lecture we just listened to. We want to thank you for being here. I'm particularly delighted that I did it. Thank you very much.
And one more thing, the governing council of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, we just consulted, and I am asked to announce that the council has approved the conferment of honorary fellowship. Usually, the fellowship of the institute is the highest rank. Just like you are senior advocate of Nigeria, Honorable Minister is the senior advocate of NIPR. So we are excited. Your character, your personality, you have held offices for 21 years, no blemish, no issue, no spot, no wrinkle.
See him now. Let's take a look at him there. Look at eyes.
That will be at the 64th annual general meeting of the institute.
Oh, come on, something.
April
Come on, something.
26. Thank you very much.
Photograph, we'll now have photograph. And what I'd like to do now, I would like to recognize the President. Antimoji, please join us. Antimoji is there. Dr. Kiki Adibalogun, please come forward. Dr. Nkechi Alibale. Quickly. I'd like to recognize the presence of Mr. Lanre Adisa, President, Advertising Agencies Association of Nigeria, and CEO of Noah's Ark. You're welcome, sir. In the building, we have Dr. Tony Ojobo, NIPR, former Director of Public Affairs, Nigerian Communications Commission. Dr. Ojobo has won many awards locally and internationally as a spokesperson. Recognize your prayer. Also in the building, we have Shegun Babatola, SCA, Special Assistant to Mr. President on Compliance and Planning, representing the Honorable Minister of Arts, Culture and Tourism and Creative Economy. You're welcome, sir. We also have the Director General of the Women's Development Center, Abuja, Honorable Dr. Asabe Belita Bashir, representing the Director PRS, Mrs. Ijoma Duru.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. Your Excellency here present, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen. For the first time, the Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation has the right man in place. He's a fellow of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations. And we can take a quick survey here. Is he doing the job well?
Yes.
Thank you. Please can I invite the Honorable Minister of Information and National Orientation to address the country. NIPR. Thank you so much.
Your Excellency, Babatunde Raji Fashola SS, former Governor of Lagos State, former Minister, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, now a practicing lawyer. The President of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, Dr. A.K. Ndiaku, the President of the Nigerian Reputation Management Group Advisory Board, my brother John Momo. Let me say this, that when you have the misfortune, as always, each time I had the opportunity to speak, and Dr. A.K. Ndiaku, there I said, is it possible to reverse it so that he speaks after me? After he finished speaking, His Excellency Babatunde Raji Fashola said that he thought that there was no need for him to continue. We all voted that he should make his presentation. After that was done, to be honest with you, I felt like hiding my own folder because there was really nothing more to add. Like the advert of Santana in those days, there is nothing more to add. Chief John Momo, I know that as we try, as always, to be as professional as possible, we also have the consciousness of this country Nigeria you have. And I know that a few times I've had to engage you after I've listened or watched something on channel television. Sometimes I have this time to call you and we talk. You wouldn't say anything, but I will see that the views we have discussed are reflected in subsequent bulletins of your TV station. Thank you for what you are doing. And I want to all you to continue to be professional, but even in doing that, to also continue to be as patriotic as possible. Thank you very much. My friend and my brother, Yomi Badejo Kusaya, the last 30 years, you and I have done this PR thing in Nigeria. And our sister here was just telling me that she saw a picture only yesterday of us that we took in 2003 or so. when she was celebrating her 50th birthday. In 2003, you can imagine how young she is today. For all of you here, President, everyone, the DGs here, let me say what I took away from this before I go into my paper. To be honest, this is one of the best occasions I've attended as minister. I've always had to worry about the reputation of our country, and as Minister of Information and National Education, I've had cause to talk about this in different forums. And what I say all the time is that you don't even have to agree. You don't have to like the man who is president or governor or minister or chairman. You don't have to. But we must all be in agreement that we have to love our country. Nobody will come from anywhere to do this for us. And yes, there are always bad stories. We always continue to have these negative bad stories being thrown around us. But also remember, it's a country that only a few days ago emerged number 3 in Morocco. I mean, yes, we are trying to be number 1. We couldn't make number 1 or number 2, but we became number 3. And Nigeria, all Nigerians were united in that. This is very positive about this country. This is a country only a few months ago was delisted by the Financial Action Task Force. Were delisted from what they call the so-called grey list. I have not seen you clap for that. If reputation is anything, is any consideration for anybody to do business with us, I thought that was a very important step taken by this administration. This is also a country now, in 7 years we've had, the highest foreign reserve in 7 years. Our GDP is on the rise. The headline inflation is coming down. Food prices coming down. Yes, we have challenges. We have issues about security. We even had the misfortune of being characterized as a country that has no religious tolerance. But the same country, and I want you to note this, the same country, United States of America, that branded us, that characterized Nigeria as a country that does not have religious tolerance. It's the same country that came here in mid-December to do business with us and made a commitment, the highest ever that America has done with any nation in the world in the healthcare sector. We seem to have forgotten that also. So even as we hear these bad stories, there are also good stories about our country. And we need to please sing our song. Nobody will do it for us. It is important that we remain Nigerians, we continue to think and act as Nigerians. And when we do that, we don't have to tell our neighbors, please open your door, I want to come in. They will open the doors and ask us and invite us to come in, and that's what we intend to do. So thank you, sir, for this very wonderful, inspiring lecture. This is not just a speech, it is a thorough engagement that we've had here. And I do hope that Nigerians will continue to learn from this and build on this so that we will continue to be a better country. Now my lecture. I am pleased to be in the company of Nigeria's leading public relations professionals, reputation managers, and key stakeholders in business and governance as a guest of honor at the Nigeria Reputation Summit 2026. This gathering is especially timely, coming just days after the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations unveiled the Nigeria Reputation Perception Index report. That timing is no coincidence. It reflects intent, planning, and a clear desire to move from measurement to action. And I'm very happy when Chief Babachim said that if you don't measure something, you cannot plan on it. And so that measurement itself is leading us to concrete action, and we're beginning to see that unfold today. I recall that barely 2 years ago, on 24th October 2024, the Nigerian Reputation Management Group, an initiative of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, was unveiled at the Federal Ministry of Foreign Affairs with the active support of my office. From the outset, this effort was driven by the belief that national reputation is not an abstract idea, but a strategic asset that must be deliberately built, protected, and managed. I am a proud member of Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, and I'm even proud that the NIPR is doing this and is at the forefront of this. The NIPR has set the course and is aligning Nigeria with the global best practices in reputation management. It is also significant that a year ago, on the 15th of January 2025, the board of the NIPMG was inaugurated under the leadership of Mr. Yomi Badejo Okusaya. Within a single year, this team has delivered Nigeria's first comprehensive reputation perception index. Achievement deserves recognition. I commend the board, the leadership of the NIPR, and its president, Dr. and persistence. Nigeria is better today for this civil. I also wish to acknowledge the efforts of past national and state committees of the NIPR and its members who laid the foundation for this report. Reputation matters not a sprint, but a sustained national project. The theme of this year's summit, Better Nigeria, aligns directly with the report's findings. The results may be sobering, but they are also very useful to all of us. A reputation score of 35.2% places Nigeria in a low trust band and highlights a gap between our potential and the global perception that we have. This, however, is not a verdict. It is a mirror, and responsible nations have the courage to look into that mirror and act swiftly. And I think that is what we are doing today. It is also important to note that much has changed since the data used for this report was first gathered. Remember that this data wasn't gathered in the last 1 or 2 years. In the last 2 years, Nigeria has embarked on a new reform path under the leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Of course, we are not where we want to be, but we are also not where we were 2.5 years ago. While perception often lags behind reality, progress is being made, and it must be communicated clearly, consistently, and honestly. Nigeria's reputation must also be viewed through broader lenses. Our democracy has endured more than 27 uninterrupted years. Political participation is open, plural, and competitive. Our press remains one of the freest in the world. No matter what you say, we have press freedom in Nigeria. These are not small achievements. Leadership, to credibility, and to communication, which are key pillars of building any reputation. In governance, this administration is strengthening local government autonomy, promoting regional development through new institutions, and advancing reforms in security, including community policing and legislative engagements, reflect a commitment to inclusion, balance, and accountability. Economically, we are somewhat in a difficult position, but necessary reforms have begun to yield the results that all of us aspire to see. Like I said earlier, inflation is easing, growth is stabilizing, and foreign reserves are improving. The removal of fuel subsidy and unification of the foreign exchange system closed long-standing leakages and restored fiscal discipline. A new tax framework is also being implemented to promote fairness and responsibility. Infrastructure development remains a priority for this administration, with major legacy road projects being undertaken. There is also an expansion in primary health care, including the establishment of oncology centers. Now, let me say that when Mr. Babatunde Fashola was talking about the issue of choice. In one day, myself, the Honorable Minister of Health, and the Honorable Minister of Finance toured 3 states in this country, Katsina, Edo, and Enugu State, to launch what is called oncology centers, cancer centers in this country. And they had the best machines. So even if you live in Nigeria and you go to wherever you want to go, in London, in India, in America, in Dubai, wherever you go, you are going to meet those same machines that have been installed in Katsina, in Enugu, and in Benin. But this is where choice now comes in. It is your choice to go to London. You can go there and meet the same Nigerian doctors and the same machine that you get here, but it is still your choice. And this is democracy. Choices must be respected. These efforts address real needs and support long-term national competitiveness. Nigeria's innovation ecosystem is also gaining global attention, with strong fintech players and growing confidence in our digital economy. In education, access has improved through the student loan scheme, while the student venture capital grant is opening new pathways for young innovators to turn ideas into enterprises. Now, we have seen the success that NIPR especially has achieved. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has said this consistently, that no child that is of school going, that has the requisite qualification to enroll into any tertiary institution in this country, will not have access as a result of the inability of either his parent or his guardian to pay for either his school fees or his upkeep. That is history in this country. This project started only about a year and a half ago. And today, I'm proud to say that nearly 700,000 of Nigerian students who would ordinarily have been out of the school system are in school because of that singular project of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Ultimately, reputation is earned through action, not slogans. It is built when policy meets purpose and when communication also reflects truth. The government alone cannot build Nigeria's reputation. The guest speaker has said that. It requires partnership, it requires professionals, it requires institutions, the private sector, and all citizens of the country to be on board so that we can build the desired reputation for our country. Lately, Nigeria's reputation has come under scrutiny due to very misleading reports suggesting that we are a nation that is intolerant of religious freedom. We continue to ease that wrong perception in effective diplomatic ways and also collaborate with international partners to improve our internal security, secure our nation from the atrocities of terror groups, and save the lives and property of millions of our citizens. Redeeming Nigeria's image is a national call to duty, involving all of us, requiring a collective denouncement of false narratives and promoting our national unity. It is imperative, it is important for all to know, and the guest speaker has alluded to that, managing the nation's reputation is not even an option for you. This is enshrined in the Constitution. You have a duty as a Nigerian to protect the image of Nigeria. How does it serve you when you pick up your phone all the time and everything you turn out is about negativity, about a country that is not doing so well, about traffic, about some policemen that have been killed? Oftentimes, even the media become a victim of this. You see headlines with terror people, someone brandishing AK-47 on his shoulders, and the newspaper in this country can dare put that on the front page. Don't celebrate these criminals. They are the enemies of Nigeria, and they must be treated as such. Please celebrate those gallant soldiers of ours who are dying every day so that we can live in our homes, so that we can even participate in this sort of gathering. It is important for all of us to recognize that we must have a country and we must be united. There is no option about that. We just have to come together to ensure that we fight together to keep this brand called Nigeria and improve
on it. Together, we must align our narratives with our progress, address our weaknesses honestly, and protect Nigeria with confidence and with clarity. It is a call for all of us. Thank you for your commitment to this very important national task, and we must continue to do that. Now, Mr. President, I recognize the fact that whenever you say you start an event at a particular time, you try to start that event at time. It's a very important thing. I was 17 minutes late, but I was not late because I chose to. I was late because I was doing another national duty to arrive here. I was 17 minutes late, but I also want to say that if we say it is 2 hours, the discipline should not just be starting. This indeed is an important question. And the guest speaker, all the things we have said about our national colors, about the need for the National Education Agency to be in the lead, ensure that Nigeria is solution is exactly what we are doing at the National Education Agency. All good differently, we'll continue to listen to you. We'll continue to act in the interest of Nigeria because we don't have any other place to go to. We have tried that 5 years ago when Andrew tried to check out. Now all of us are checking back in this country. We remain there and serving together. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Yes, please, another round of applause for the Honorable Minister. Thank you. Thank you very much. While you're being served Nigerian cuisine, there is okpa going around. There is there's kuli kuli, there's kose, there's masa.
Somewhere. Everything you will get today in terms of refreshment is Nigerian.
Absolutely. So we're not sharing sweets, biscuits, we're sharing Nigerian stuff. Please give Nigeria another round of applause. We'll now quickly invite for the reputation index, perception index. Welcome Vice President NIPR, Chairman Reputation Perception Services, Professor Emmanuel Dadara, FNIPR, to give us that report now. Please a round of applause for him.
Thank you very much.
From Africa to the world, say Nigeria opens a golden age. Ideas for life and stories unite. Public relations, they unite. It's time. It's time for the time. The express of the
Lower it. Volume, please lower it. Thank you. Please lower it. Thank you.
They didn't say you put it off. Just bring the volume a little lower so we can hear. A little louder.
Abuja 2026. Africa will lead the world with leaders, presidents, members of the nation. Together, we rise.
Can I please have the presentation? Well, I'm also going to say, Your Excellencies, that most of what I need to share with you has been shared. We are not presenting this report. Go to the framework on the next slide, please. Yes, we've been talking about the report. It's just for us to understand this proprietary framework that we have developed in-house. The Reputation Perception Services, the consortium of the best of the brains we have in the area of research, statistics, public relations, and NIPR is providing a reasonable component. So what we're talking about is not just 2-3 people sitting down to say we're doing a survey. And I want to say that these are the 7 pillars. Besides the 7 pillars, you see we have 7 attributes. The first thing is leadership, which takes 17% out of 100. Another leadership where we have questions that try to get information about the vision of the country, the level of cohesiveness, the level of the nature of the governance in terms of how our systems are being run. Then performance is 16.5%. Here we are looking at issues about the quality of the service we deliver or whatever. How do we meet our needs? And then the component of addressing the issues of differentiation and how reliable are we in terms of whether they are policies or whether they are engagements as it were. Then credibility is talking about consistency, trust, competence, strategic alliances. Each of these attributes has questions that respondents will provide their answers to. So then we move to innovation, where we're looking at value creation, global competitiveness, creativity and adaptability, which is also 16.5%. Communication is talking about transparency. It's also talking about the consistency in our messaging. The president was alluding to one of the findings when we talk about people not complicating issues, for the Honorable Minister of Information, who is doing a very good job and is very systematic in managing our information. But sometimes, that we have quite a number of spokespersons. Sometimes you have contradictory messages coming here and there. So he's referring to one of the outputs we got. Then we talk about social equity, the issues of fairness, justice, and rule of law, inclusion. Then finally, culture. Both are sharing 8.5%. And you're looking at ethics, you're looking at heritage, you're looking at these other expressions that we have talked about. So this is how you get the percentage, what we call the RPR score of Nigeria or any entity, because this can also be applied to even organizations. It's been patented, it's trademarked, it's also one that has undergone extensive review. And I speak on good authority. I think by 15 December, I celebrated 36 years lecturing in Nigerian University and 5 other continents. So research is an area that I can say that I've paid my dues. So let's go quickly to the next slide. Quickly, I have just 2 more minutes. Honorable Minister, when you told us to keep it 2 hours, I was coming up, President, asked me how many minutes will we spend? I said 5 minutes. He said, when you say 5 minutes, you don't normally spend 5 minutes. I'll keep my 5 minutes now. So, this is the score. Move on. Just to give us highlights. I have just 2 more slides. Move on, please. Now, This is the highest score of all the pillars, 49.4. And you can see that it wasn't just a matter of administering questionnaire. We had engagement through focus group discussions and also in some cases interviews. And like I mentioned this morning, 3,911 is a robust number of respondents for understanding what we are talking about. Now, credibility is the lowest, and that's 30.7. The last slide. So these are the 7 pillars, and this is how we fared as a country. Leadership, domestic audience, you can see there's a difference between the way we see ourselves and the way the international see us. The domestic fair leadership was the rated leadership at 48, the international rated us at 7.6. For credibility, again, the domestic respondents were at 32.1%, the international said were at 30.7%. For innovation, domestic fields were 33.9%, and I think this one that there's closer convergence. But in the area of communication, and Minister is also a credit to you. It shows that we're not just saying you're doing the right thing. You can see that both locally and nationally, the rating is the same. If only we can allow for those constituents we brought in, we'll go up. Social equity, we have 42% by the respondents nationally and then 7% by the international. For culture, you can even see that the domestic audience placed us at 52.1. So at least we have crossed 50, and for the international, it's 49 because that is the point at which they engage and enjoy to engage Nigeria, the component of culture. So basically, we have mentioned that it is a research. Our minister will collect the data between September and November 2025. So it's a recent snapshot, but we took 7 years to develop the framework. But the data we used for this research was collected between September and November 2025. And that's what we call the 2025 report. The promise is that RPS is going to run this in collaboration with NIPR annually. We will sustain that. We didn't get any support because we didn't ask for it, and we don't want it from either public or private sector. It's part of our contribution to national development, and it's part of what NIPR collaborated with RPS to be sure that the NRMG that we are very happy what they are doing. They have data to work with. So we are also going to use this as Council of NIPR now to evaluate the programs and activities that will be coming from NRMG. And we believe that the Honourable Minister will cascade the recommendations that require attention of government. But what is most important before I go down is that changing this core goes beyond what government can do. Changing this core has to do with what every one of us is doing at your sphere of influence. Every one of us is a leader. And some people are engaging Nigeria for the first time through what you have either posted online or what you have said, or even you as a person. So we all have jobs to do. Because with a low reputation, it is not government that is suffering. We are suffering it. When you get to a point of entry in the country and you're not treated properly, they are not looking at whether you are in government or not. They are looking at the passport you carry in Nigeria. And so if the consequences will affect every one of us at our various levels, it means we must know that we have a role to play to ensure that we move this scale up. Thank you very much indeed. By the way, before I go down, if you scan, you register to come in here, you will have got a copy of this. We ensure that you can download it. So please, if the barcode is still at the entrance, you can download the copy and please go with it, study it, and see where your role comes in. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we're moving on to other aspects of today's event real quick. I'd like to recognize the presence of Princess Edna Didi Azura, National President, National Council of Women Societies, Nigeria, Comrade M.H. Brian, FNIPR, National President, Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, Professor Ike, Professor O.K. Ikechukwu, FNIPR, Mr. Andy Ode, Chief Corporate Communications Officer, NNPCL, represented by Mr. Ali Abubakar, FNIPR Manager, Media Relations, NNPCL. Special Assistant to the President on Youth Initiative, Dr. Titi Lokwe Badamosi, recognize you. Prince Emeka Kalu, President of Ratoa, we welcome you. DG Miriam Babangida, National Center for Women Development, Honorable Asabe Belita Bashir, we welcome you. All chapter presidents, both physical and virtual, you are recognized and welcome.
Thank you very much. I will now invite for spoken word. For vote of thanks, we invite a lady of excellence, first female of the NIPR. Beauty and brains combined together. Please welcome the very distinguished Lami Tumaka, FNIPR. First Vice Chairman, NIRG.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Excuse me. Good afternoon, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Nobody responded to me. Your Excellencies, let me, what's the right thing to say? I don't want to go through the protocol.
Recognize everybody.
Yes.
Which you have done.
Yes. I stand on the protocol. I recognize the protocol. So, on behalf of the Nigerian cast, I have to say a special good afternoon to you, our guest speaker. That was awesome. That like the minister said, I think it is also one of the best events I have attended. And I also need to say that I was the one that recommended you for this. Yes, why you? We were chatting and we were wondering who to invite, and I mentioned your name. You don't know me, but I know you. I lived and worked in Lagos, Nimasa, for so many years. And I had a healthy crush on you. Yes, I did. I don't know if I still have the crush, but I had it when I was in Lagos. Moji and Moji's warning me. So on behalf of the Nigeria Reputation Management Group, it is my honor and my privilege to express our profound appreciation to everyone who has contributed to the success of this first Nigeria Reputation Summit. We are deeply grateful to you, the Honorable Minister of Information and National Orientation, our host, for your presence, your leadership. Our minister, we're very grateful to you. Each time we called upon you, you responded. We are grateful to you for your support and the commitment to us. Our special appreciation and freedom goes to our president and chairman of council, Dr. Ike Nyeku, your vice, and the entire team for your support. I'd like to, I've already done that, but it's written here.
that I'd like to thank our keynote speaker, His Excellency Babatunde Raji Fashola, my crush. Yes. I'd like to thank Reputation John Momo. Each time we call on you, you have responded. I'd like to thank my sister, my friend, the former Minister Women Affairs, Pauline Talent. We appreciate you. We appreciate all the women that are here and the men as well. We appreciate all our board members. We appreciate members of the committee that put this together. Without them, we would not have been here today. It's been a very difficult journey, but this attendance has made it worthwhile. I'd like to thank the media. Without you, it would have been like winking in the dark. Would like to thank all of you that you have made this possible. Thank you, and may God bless you all. Thank you. I'd like to thank Auntie Mochi.
Thank you so much, Auntie.
Without Auntie Mochi, this wouldn't have happened. She bent over backwards. Her time, her resources, her money she put into this project. She is the chairperson of the planning committee. I'm just a member of the committee. Thank you, Auntie Mochi.
Thank you very much. Sorry, Your Excellency, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen. We would allow our keynote speaker to leave us. We would also allow the Honorable Minister, but we are not done yet. However, we have 12 minutes, counting from now, 12 minutes of a healthy break, where you will have the Nigerian cuisine served at your back. Akwai Kosai, Akwai Masa. There is my brother, there is Opa. There anything that is Nigerian. The keynote speaker said so. So please, we will end this session while the dignitaries will leave us. And we want to, most importantly, thank AIT. Yes. We want the group photography that is permitted down here, every member at the front row. Can we have a group photograph with the kids? Can we have a group photograph? Here. Just here.
Right in front, just a photograph right in front. Photograph quickly right in front. Special recognition to NTA, Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, News Agency of Nigeria, Television, Rapal, NOA, and all the public institutions, communication institutions. Thank you very much for all you do. Vehicle number APJ 7478 GWA 950 HP Repart.
Come on, this one.
This is invention.
Yeah, we'll come back. No, no, no.
In reality, we rise in national intelligence, legal structure, expertise, coordination, peace, Nigeria, reputation, management, whatsoever, these factors. NIPR, the multi-stakeholder thinkers and leaders, united by one condition. Nigeria's reputation must be intentionally managed, not
Distinguished viewers, this brings us to the first session of the Nigeria Reputation Summit 2025. We urge you to please stay tuned as we bring you the second session, an interactive session for this event. Thank you.
The National Reputation Summit is NIPR's action plan, based on real leadership, interrogating narratives, share unity studies, and align Nigeria around its reputation agenda. The future of reputation will be built by institutions alone, will be shaped by the youth, technology, creativity, and knowledge.